For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth's rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure.
Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crying in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
A brawl among a group of senators that occurred somewhere, also coming up on this afternoon's NewsSpin program. I am told that the SLP slate of candidates is complete. And as usual, we have a whole lot more to share with you, including your own contributions via 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room and provide us with some updates. We hope you're having yourself an enjoyable and safe Friday, and hopefully we hope that we'll go into a great weekend. So the leaders of the Caribbean, singing from the same hymn book, they are all saying the same thing when it comes to the response to the worsening crime problem in the region. And I remember there was a time when you were talking about the occurrence of serious crimes, almost exclusively you were referencing what would have been happening at the time in Jamaica, and to a lesser extent the likes of Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana. But now when you're talking about crime in the region, you're talking about St. Lucia almost at number 1 per capita, and then you're talking about the usual countries where crime has been rife over several decades. And excuse after excuse after excuse we are hearing from our leaders, which begs the question, what has CARICOM been doing over the last several decades it has been in existence as far as dealing with emerging and existing challenges? Likewise, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States and other regional groupings, where heads and various ministerial committees meet ever so often. So obviously, one must conclude that you guys have been sleeping at the wheel and you have been caught off guard. And don't blame the citizenry in its entirety for what we are facing at this point in time as far as crime is concerned. So I stumbled upon a clip on Facebook, and obviously put together by an operative of the St. Lucia Labour Party, because they have put their comments by the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, his Jamaican counterpart, the Prime Minister of Barbados, and also the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all reacting to the crime problem in the Caribbean and basically singing the same tune, not taking responsibility for the state of affairs, but attributing the problem to an emerging phenomenon. That crime is everywhere in the Caribbean, relating to the emergence of gangs and all kind of systems that they are making reference to, and they are blaming for what we are going through at this point in time. But we'll analyze in just a moment. But let's listen to those regional prime ministers as they react to the crime problem in the Caribbean.
There is no country in this region that is not facing some level of citizen insecurity.
Gangs in Jamaica likely have a connection with gangs in St. Lucia, in Trinidad, in Haiti, in the Bahamas.
The crime situation in the country as a public health issue exists in all the islands in the region, and we have to get together to solve it.
Every person who gets chopped up and die or shot, that I must go and make a statement on radio. Why is Ralph talking about this thing? Why not the police? The police talk, they say, well, Ralph not talking.
Regrettably, I've said over and over, we pay a high price for the Second Amendment rights of the United States of America's citizens.
I just want to say here that the scale and magnitude of the problem, which is being faced by almost all member countries of CARICOM, cannot be addressed overnight. It took 40 years for the problem to emerge to where it is, and it will not be solved by short-term measures. It will require significant investment, but it will also require unified public support. And as we observe the challenges in several of our member states, and we see the rising homicide rates, we also see political dissonance. And so it is absolutely important that we come together as a region so that our individual publics can see and appreciate that they are not alone in this problem.
But whatever the cause, the reality is this is where we are. If ever there was a time for us to cooperate as we discussed today on matters pertaining to this, and Jamaica has put on the table a regional justice and security framework cooperation agreement, which I believe the rest of us are ready to engage in.
That we have to come together to solve. There's no one solution. There's no one thing you can do at this time to solve the pandemic in the region. We need a whole of society approach. We need politicians to stop glorifying crime for their own personal, for their own political motives. We need to have some things where you draw a red line. And a red line must be drawn against criminality. Social programs will help. Social programs are helping to a certain extent. Rehabilitation must happen. It's a whole series of interventions that have to happen, and not one intervention. So what I want to tell you is that the meeting has agreed that the crime situation in the country as a public health issue exists in all the islands in the region, and we have to get together to solve it.
Friends, there can be no sustained prosperity without security. A July 2024 report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime entitled Caribbean Gangs, Drugs, Firearms and Gang Networks in Jamaica, St. Lucia, Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago points to a worrying combination of risk factors, including surging drug production in South America, the proliferation and competition of transnational and local gangs, and high availability and use of firearms that have contributed to soaring homicide rates.
I've spoken over and over about this situation and the plan that we have and which we are following, dealing with criminal activity, dealing with the issue of guns, a complicated issue, complicated motivations by persons, strengthening the police force, strengthening the legal system, the laws. Look, it's a year and a half ago, we went to Parliament and strengthened the gun laws. We strengthened the criminal justice system, strengthened the magistracy, strengthened the judiciary, put more resources, more training. Look, we're doing all of this thing, but you have to watch your behavior, and you have to behave in solidarity and stay away from criminality, from greed, from the violence associated with gun activity. I'm not and I cannot be responsible for the behavioral problems of individuals.
The Prime Ministers of Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and Barbados, all in denial as far as the ability to come in their respective territories and, by extension, the Caribbean. They like to blame the United States, and we know that it is not a simple issue, a simple answer. You could find a simple answer to the question of how to prevent those firearms from entering our borders in the Caribbean, because we are not producing, we're not manufacturing those firearms and ammunition. That's well known. But when you tell me, in the case of St. Lucia, we have the evidence to prove it, that again, a prime minister would agree, I know he does not like that word, to disband a canine unit, being totally aware that we have porous borders and we have those guns entering our borders from the United States. Yet still he does that. Isn't that reckless? And it appears that that was just a political decision that was taken by the Prime Minister. I don't think it was grounded in any serious thought, any serious analysis that would have warranted him to take that kind of action. You need not be a policeman, you need not be a police commissioner to understand that you have to protect your borders and do what is sensible to do to ensure that this is done. And the Prime Minister at some point in time has to address that issue with some degree of honesty and seriousness as is warranted. Why did you disband the canine unit? And this was the case for at least 2 years. And you wonder, when those heads meet at those regional summits, what are they discussing? Are you telling me that now you're saying, as a regional prime minister, that this problem did not surface overnight? And many of you have been, in the case of Ralph Gonzalez, won 5 general elections. In the case of Mia Motley, has been a government minister, I think, from the 1990s. And Dr. Holness is seeking right now to get a 3rd term to be at the helm of the government of Jamaica. And he has been a government minister before that. So all along, and don't talk about our own Philip J. Pierre, he has been in the Senate before 1997. I think from 1992 he was in the Senate. 1997 up until now you have been an elected MP. And you did not see this coming. And ordinarily, citizens go about their business. And that is an error on our part. We just leave it to those politicians. We leave it to those prime ministers and ministers of national security and health and so on to take care of our business. We give them carte blanche because we have a level of confidence in them. We expecting that, they're forward-looking individuals, but that is not the case. So right under your nose, this problem was festering, and now you're coming up with all kind of excuses because you do not want to be blamed. Well, you, as our leaders, you are responsible for the predicament that we're experiencing right now. This pandemic that you have absolutely no response for. You are responsible. You are the cause of this. There has been a serious dereliction of duty on the part of those leaders, knowing full well that we are islands surrounded by water, porous borders. We should have put things in place to deal with those issues because reference has been made to those problems in the various parliaments around the Caribbean. There was this debate over in Jamaica last evening involving the Prime Minister, same Dr. Andrew Holness, and the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Mark Golding. We'll not be able to play you clips of that debate, but we'll be featuring the comments of at least 3 individuals who are providing their own observations, their analysis regarding the outcome of that exercise. One that is certainly needed in St. Lucia. Because what we have is debate taking place in the islands in the Parliament of St. Lucia from time to time. And I've heard some people say, but we have debates in the Parliament. What kind of debate? Who is the moderator? Who are the moderators in our Parliament? In the Senate, you have the President of the Senate, and invariably her rulings are in favor of the government senators and the so-called independent senators. In the case of the House of Assembly, in the case of the elected MPs, you know how the Speaker rules. And there isn't any kind of fairness in the rulings of those people, either in the Senate or the House of Assembly. So that's not any kind of debate. You're focusing on a bill. The opposition MPs are restricted to speak on the bill. But the government MPs can stray far and wide. So there isn't any fairness. You want a structured debate. I'm not saying that we should have a debate involving all the island's elected MPs or candidates who want to contest elections in St. Lucia, but at least have some consideration for the wishes of people in this country who are not interested in the mauvais langue and the TMT that takes place on the platforms of the respective political parties, but who are interested in ideas, in policies, how you answer certain questions, your demeanor, whether you lose your cool, etc. There are some people, not the majority, the minority, they're interested in hearing sensible, getting exposed to a sensible discussion between two individuals who want to hold the highest office in the land. Let me provide you with some of the analysis of that debate which took place last evening between the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the leader of the opposition ahead of the September 3rd poll.
Wow, I'm without words. It was incredible to see both leaders really going hard to prove their case to the country. I think that every Jamaican who took the time to watch this debate would have been impressed. I've been watching these debates for a number of years now. This is the best one I've witnessed. I saw passion, I saw energy, I saw a desperate attempt to wrestle facts in their favors respectively. I think it was all round an excellent showcase.
Right. Jodianne?
I thought it was an impressive showing. It wasn't a team debate. So you didn't have the ability to play off other people, to pass on questions. You had two men who had to explain their positions to the country, explain some of the more problematic parts of their story to the nation, marshal those facts in this conversation, rebut, and go back to tearing apart something that has been said. They both sounded like people who want to lead our country, and they came, both of them, with a level of pride. Even though we were anticipating it, showcased, it was a pleasure.
Right. Tell me your thoughts then.
From German, say him can see. Before we talk about, we had mentioned how would they dress, and tonight both men dressed phenomenally well. I must give them comments to that. So that is good. The second thing I really love about tonight, the journalists were phenomenal. They were on point with the questions, and they did not let them escape. With them feasted and they get to it, then bring back the question in a different way and more pointed and direct. Good. The next thing is that the spirit of debate was really good tonight. As a seasoned debater, I saw debating in action, and I wish all parliamentarians would actually learn how to debate. I'm really glad that now at the national youth level, debating is being considered. Another thing that in terms of what social media was upset about, were the interpreters tonight. And I said interpreters because there were more than one sign language interpreters tonight for the disabled community. And I just want to say kudos to the producers who added that touch to it. But tonight, both gentlemen, phenomenal.
Dr. McAlpin, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Your thoughts on what you saw and heard?
I was certainly very impressed with the composure, the poise. Feathers were barely ruffled. It wasn't a shouting match. We were going to have an argument, a debate concerning the facts and concerning why either of them should lead the country. I am very appreciative of the fact that both of them remained composed and they stuck to their script, sometimes to the fault of not answering the question, but they both stuck to their script, and it was a respectable debate. I would say, if I were to compare it with debates on this side of the pond, certainly that debate was far more respectful in terms of for leadership of a country.
TVJ panelists, they're analyzing the outcome of last evening's debate, the performance of the respective participants, as the Prime Minister of Jamaica, as well as the leader of the opposition. Hope you'll take some time, if you did not watch the debate, to watch it online over the weekend, because those are the things that we ought to emulate in St. Lucia. And believe you me, the political directorate on their own will not go through the process of engaging in sensible discussions, exchanging ideas, and engaging in robust debate on the various issues if we, the people of St. Lucia, do not demand it and force it and cause it to happen. If we consider ourselves to be an enlightened people, if we want to be taken seriously as a country, we cannot accept only the frivolous discussions that are taking place in some sections of a society as the mechanism that would determine whether we vote for the SLP or the UWP or candidates from the respective parties, or whether we believe that Philip J. Pierre is the best prime minister we've ever had, or whether we believe the same of Alan Shastney. They have to prove it ahead of a general election. It is on that basis that we ought to determine whether those individuals, whether candidates have what it takes to represent our interests. It cannot be on the basis of just mounting a platform. You are just being endorsed as a candidate, you have no track record, and we ought to just say this as sufficient evidence that you're up to the task, the serious one at that, considering the many challenges that we continue to confront now, and definitely what is on the horizon. Let me hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. Tim, a few comments from me. A NewsSpinner says they aren't responding to the crime rates in their respective countries, but the region as a whole. How convenient. A commentary reads, is CARICOM now the National Trust of the Caribbean and will say and do absolutely nothing? A NewsSpinner says, is it a case where all our leaders are sleeping at the wheel? Are they saying that they are failing their people? A commentary reads, yes, because the individual who took time out to put this video together does not wish to hold their government and the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of National Security, accountable or responsible. Someone says, but when y'all were in opposition, y'all blamed the then government. A commentary reads, CARICOM is all talk and zero action. A NewsSpinner says, the quarry you will hear when you're not deaf, only when it's convenient to these politicians, is alarming. All we are asking is to control, not stop, but to take control of the crime situation. If you guys can't take control of it, then let the citizens take it into their own hands, and only then you guys will do something about it. Just let the citizens wake up against criminal activities in their country, and you will see politicians acting quickly. A commentary reads, Philip J. Pierre, keep quiet. All of y'all are singing the same song. All of y'all are part of the high crime rate in the region because y'all refuse to implement drastic security policies to help curb the crime in the region. Look what Philip Pierre did to all the security measures that was implemented by the former UWP administration. Never all those policies to take root and bear fruits.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. We have our first call online. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I think we have lost that caller. 452-2979. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, if the Prime Minister cannot answer questions from the local reporters, I believe he will not survive a debate against Mr. Alan Shastney. We have a call again. Let's see if we get this call on the line. On the air, sorry. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Rick.
I watched part of that debate, and I just watched your clip. You notice that everybody on that clip spoke about the way the guys conducted themselves, mainly.
Yes. Their behavior, their
and the
demeanor.
clip I watched, Tim.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yes, go ahead. I said their demeanor, their behavior, and so on.
Yeah, that's what I spoke about.
Yeah.
But, you know, the clip itself, I was particularly arrested by a section of the clip, the debate, where both leaders, Tim,
they shook hands?
Accused.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
Where both leaders accused each other of egregious crime. Huh?
Yes, they did.
Egregious crime, and that's a common thing among the leaders of the Caribbean. They are all accusing each other of very, very serious crimes, and are surprised when the populace or the criminal aspect of the populace follow suit, because if those allegations are real, have merit, nothing ever happens. In St. Lucia, we've had that over and over. The Parliament is a place to tune in to hear the criminality that ostensibly our political leaders are involved in. Right or wrong?
You're correct.
Right. Nothing happens. Even on the last Parliament meeting, again, some serious allegations. So, for me, that is far, far more important than how well behaved these people were or not. Now, yesterday somebody called as well, and I think spoke discouragingly about having a debate in St. Lucia, because what we would have is a halakasha and people calling each other names. But Tim, isn't that what we're used to in the country at Parliament time?
But a debate that is well structured, as was demonstrated last evening, and well managed, certainly would prevent the participants from going awry, from being disrespectful.
I'm in total agreement with that.
Yeah.
I am saying if the participants behave like dogs, the audience, which is to say the electorate, will be making their own minds about them. Huh?
Yes, they would.
So I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a good excuse not to have those debates because the guys are going to misbehave. Because misbehavior is the natural order for them.
Mm-hmm.
But in this instance, we as voters will be watching who is behaving appropriately and who is not. So that's no excuse. I would suggest that the church ostensibly moves everything, the Bar Association, the Chamber of Commerce, what other group we have has some modicum of respect, should be the ones demanding, because just you want to show and a few of us calling, it's not about to change things any more than when the calls apply to stuff other than debates.
But the Chamber of Commerce, what is prepared to do is to accommodate, let's say, the likes of Alan Shastri and the Prime Minister, have separate engagements where policy statements are issued. And that is primarily for the benefit of its members. I think on the 21st of this month, there was such an exercise hosted by the Chamber, and the presenter was the leader of the opposition. And we don't know what transpired there.
There again, if we had to go strictly by optics and what has happened before, you would have to presume, based on the norm, that these two guys aren't about to be meeting in any kind of room to amicably discuss St. Lucian business. I mean, the business of the country. That is where we're at, isn't it?
Yes, and unfortunately, because our politicians have made the issues of the day about themselves and not about the people. So it's about their ego. It is about maintaining power. It's about getting into office. And I think their behavior would demonstrate, politicians in general, that they're not preoccupied primarily with what is affecting the people of the country. And this is demonstrated time after time by their behavior in Parliament and also the rhetoric in Parliament.
Which brings us right back to the Jamaica clip again. Because what those guys were doing were maping each other. They both know, if they're truthful about what they're saying, they both know that the police ought to be involved in that. But you can bet your life it won't happen in Jamaica. It won't happen in any of these islands, because it's two sets of people. It's the opposition people at war with the government people. So the people, per se, are not a factor. It's merely a matter of getting to the trough, as Derek Walker says, like dogs rooting at the trough for scraps of favor. That is what these politicians are about. And until the people of the country make up their minds that it's going to change, it won't. But the horror, Tim, is that the people of the countries are encouraging that. And they are encouraging it. How many public meetings of those parties do we see people seated and listening to people talking, and people are able to stand up and ask questions, etc., etc.? Mainly what we see are people dancing in party colors, Tim.
Well, to its credit, the St. Lucia Labour Party, when they have their town hall meetings at the end, their supporters would be given an opportunity to ask questions. It has happened. I think with regard to the United, with regard to the United Party, they have a different format.
But what I would like to see, though, would be an atmosphere that would allow Labour Party people to attend similar functions by the UWP and vice versa, so that a well-known UWP person, even if he's well-known, would be treated according to his question, he'd be treated. And vice versa, a Labour Party person could go there and expect proper treatment, etc. Can you see that happening?
No. That would be a wasteful exercise anyway.
Well, you see, again, that's what I'm saying. That's what we have come to expect, as opposed to demanding that it change. What we have at those party things is that guys probably planted, asking questions that sound so serious, and already there's prepared answer and everything for it. You know, so that's all we're having. We can't be sure of anything. We can't trust anything. The Jamaica guys, the two leaders there, their main thing was neither of them was trustworthy. You know, that they were crooks, big money involved. Right now, we have so much going on that unanswered. The CIP thing, the GPH contract. We have so many things that ought to be the foundation for the elections. Either the leader of the opposition. I mean, why don't we have an expose, and I use the word guardedly, of the leader of the opposition, say, and the CIP minister? Why don't we have that? Or something on GPH. It's not just a matter of having those debates and whatnot. We must know. We must be sure that those questions are meaningful, and we also have to be sure that the police should be listening to some of those meetings. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. Let me see if I can go through some of your messages while we are awaiting your calls. Let's see if you have a call in the landline. In the meantime, let's see there what you are saying. Somebody says that, Tim, what was also instructive about last night's debate in Jamaica is that they were moderated and facilitated by the local journalists. Many of them are young journalists, and I was very impressed with the professional and impartial manner that the journalists conducted themselves. You would never know which party these media personalities supported. I pray for the day when our media persons in St. Lucia can get back to this point and inspire the population again. Our people don't trust the media. If we were to have debates, who would be moderating, Tim? Do we have a call? We do. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Brother Timmy.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, this is Vincent Nathaniel, known as the Golden Dragon. And I must say, I think we should have debates, and I think our Honorable Prime Minister, Philip JPN, should really be the one to say, yes, I will debate. But let me tell you, Timmy, I'm willing to ask the Prime Minister, Honorable Philip JPN, that I will debate him on the 18th of September, Thursday, 18th September at 9 p.m., and we can probably get the cultural center or the new thing by the ramp. I think they call it the pyramid. I think they call it. There's a new big tent by the ramp. So either we use the National Cultural Center or the pyramid by the ramp. We can have the honorable.
I don't think you have merited that kind of that kind of attention, sir.
Timmy, I'm just saying.
No.
Let me finish.
The Prime Minister.
Let me finish, and then you can.
No. You'll not tell me when you finish, okay?
Yeah, it's your show. Go ahead.
No, not in my show. But I'm the host of the show.
Yeah, it's your show. Go ahead. But I'm not finished.
But I think what should happen is that you have a debate between the Prime Minister, a serious debate between the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. You have not attained that right.
Well, I am making a proposal that the leader of the People's Progressive Movement, Mr. Vincent Nathaniel, will debate our Honorable Prime Minister on the 18th September at 9 p.m. I'll arrange it. I'll have you and...
No. I don't think get involved with that.
I'll have you and Rick...
Not in that debate, no.
I'll have you, hold on, let me finish, man. You know, let me finish. You're intervening. You're too anxious. Relax, Timmy. Relax. So, I am challenging the Prime Minister. As leader of the People's Progressive Movement, I'm challenging him to a debate on St. Lucia's economy, 18th September, 9 p.m. And Rick, Wayne, and Lisa Joseph, and Timothy Poleon will be the three panelists, or the three people who will be asking the questions. Myself and my former teacher, Honorable Philip J. Pierre, he taught me in Form 1 and Form 2, St. Mary's College, taught me geography. So I will challenge him to a debate as the leader of the People's Progressive Movement. And Timmy, you know, I have said that to solve crime, one, you must do like Barbados. Barbados is now overhauling their police service. And the first thing, we have to change the name from the Royal Senator Police Force to the Royal Senator Police Service. They are to protect and serve. It's a service. And if you have a service, you'll be able to interact with our people in a lot better way. So we've got to first of all change the name Royal Senator Police Service, and then we have to overhaul the police force. And Timmy, you know why our force is actually behaving so badly? Apart from they've been a bit, you call it Operation Restore Confidence, they've been a bit down. A lot of them are still in the investigation. They cannot get their promotions. And these are good guys. I know some good guys in there waiting to get it over with, get the promotions. But Timmy, the biggest problem with our police force is too much moonlighting. Timmy, too much moonlighting. The guys are doing a second and third job, and they're giving more royalty to the second and third boss because they're getting better pay. And when they get to the government work as police officers, they're tired and they cannot work. That is the biggest problem we have with our police force, too much moonlighting. So I will say, Timmy, bring back Vernon Francois, 5-year contract, Vernon Francois. Let him be involved in the overhauling of the police force. Stop the moonlighting today. No more moonlighting. If you're a police officer and you have your little taxi and have to work, you want to go in the little taxi, fine. If you're a police officer and you're a baker or you have your little grocery shop and you want to go into your little baking and your little grocery shop afterwards, fine. So you live in your job and you do a little pattern for yourself. But stop officers from working for other companies, like the cinema, like Church's Chicken, like the gas stations. Stop them from doing that.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much. Somebody says that via WhatsApp, the SLP government will never go for a debate. Too many unanswered questions from CIP. The SLP doesn't talk to the people. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And let's see if somebody says anything via WhatsApp. Okay. All right, I don't think we have any more of your WhatsApp messages. The broadcast will continue in just a moment with more of your calls. And somebody says the SLP's slate of candidates is now complete. Stay with the broadcast.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of our secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Hey Lucilek, Sherry here. I've been hearing all about my account and its features. Can you really do all that?
Absolutely, Sherry. I'm Taisha, by the way. My account is your all-in-one power hub. You can check your bill. It's even emailed to you every month. Need a copy? You can download a PDF version anytime. You can manage multiple accounts and paying is a breeze. Use your card or opt for online bank payments. Thank you. Whatever suits you best. Keeping tabs on your energy use, you got it. Track your consumption, download payment records, and see how you stack up against previous months and others nearby.
Thanks for breaking it down A1, Taisha.
You got it, Sherry. My account puts the power in your hands. Remember, it's your energy, your way.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or launcher. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial bank, your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every six, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party in sport.
For the interest of this nation, the countdown is on as we get set for August 30th. Friends of New York presents the Forkery Man Liberty Party with friends, including the Forkery Man Kakal, alongside Rosalie and Natty Conqueror with MC Mr. Right. Other guest performances include Caribbean, DJ Speedometer, DJ Bashi, and more. It's a Labor Day party happening at 1035 Hedgemon Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Admission is only $20. And of course, eats and drinks 758 style. For ticket info, call 347-432-7807 or 347-457-7265. It's the Forkery Man and Friends Labor Day party this Saturday, August 30th from 5 p.m. This event is supported by Friends of New York. We're representing 758.
Yes, our slate is complete. The Labour Party has 17 candidates, well-trained, qualified, passionate, committed men and women who are prepared to go to the polls and to secure a second term for the Philip J.P. administration. Yes, our slate is complete. The Labour Party has 17 candidates, well-trained, qualified, passionate, committed men and women who are prepared to go to the polls and to secure a second term for the Philip J.P. administration.
Second Deputy Political Leader of the governing St. Lucia Labour Party, Education Minister Sean Edwards, speaking on the program Meet the Government or the Government, whatever. I can't recall the name of that program. My apologies to you. But what he said there is that the 17 people who will do battle on behalf of the St. Lucia Labour Party, they have been selected, and none of the current government MPs will get the boot. They all will be contesting the general election on behalf of the St. Lucia Labour Party whenever that poll is called. For a limited time this month only, La Clinique du Corps is offering a $50 discount on all doctor consultations. Take advantage of this special offer while it lasts. Okay, that's a special offer by La Clinique du Corps. And of course, the name of the program is Meet the Minister. So my apologies. Meet the Minister is the name of the program. Let's continue with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I note that Rick is asking for a debate between Ernest Hilaire, the leader of the opposition. I wonder why. Is he trying to protect the Prime Minister? And if so, from what? Interesting. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello, good afternoon.
3 times journalist of the year. Mr. Timothy Porter, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bermuda.
Good afternoon. And my Baradino Corner people, good afternoon. Mr. Poleon, question to you. First of all, let me congratulate the world's best and greatest leader, Sir Alan Michael Shasta, with that team that he have. That's a world team that can play on any field, both home and abroad. The greatest team since the late Prime Minister of Barbados, GM Tom Adams, and also Sir Clive Herbert Lloyd, that West Indies team that he had. That's the best team I've seen ever since. To push all those guys like King and those guys out of the way, because they're a waste of time. Those guys are class players that can bat on any wicket and bowl on any pitch. But Mr. Poleon, question for you. Do you think that any members of the SLP government could that your favorite Prime Minister, Madam Mia Motley, would accept any of them into her cabinet?
I don't know, sir. I really don't know.
You don't know she's a class player.
Yeah, but you have your point of view on that issue, so share it with us. I don't know.
So you don't know which wicket.
I don't know what. No, I don't know what Mia Motley would do in terms of selecting what any of the government MPs to be in a cabinet if she had the choice to. I don't know.
Tim, you said she's the best Prime Minister for you in the world.
Yes.
And if she's the best Prime Minister,
I would let's listen to this. I would trust her judgment. If she decides she does not want to select any, I trust her judgment. If she decides that it's only 2 individuals within the SLP cabinet who should be serving on her cabinet, on her team, I would go with it. I trust her judgment.
Knowing you that you hold a very high esteem, a very, very high esteem. Do you think a lady of her quality would elect any member of that SLP government?
Caller, I do not know. I can't answer that for you. But you tell me.
I am telling you, the answer is 0. No. No way in the world. Not one of them. Do you think Sir Alan Michael Shasta would elect any member of that SFP Bogus gang government? And let me say this for the record. Sir Alan Michael Shasta is simply the best and the greatest leader on the planet. You could take that and cash that in any bank you like. None of them can touch him. No, Mia Motley. And let me tell you something, Tim. Let me tell you something. Things I could tell you about Barbados, you'll be ashamed of yourself, you know. Let me tell you right now. I got things in my abattoir, man, that would blow your head off, man. Okay? Things that I know. Things that I know. Comes direct from the vault. Okay? There's nobody in the Caribbean, nobody on this planet, none of them could touch the great man Sir Alan Michael Shasta. I'm going to talk about this African guy. This guy in Africa. I can't remember his name. I don't try to remember his name. Because those guys are jokers to me. Because what he's doing there, Sir Alan Michael Shasta, been doing a long time. And the reason why I rate Sir Alan Michael Shasta as the best, because he's a man, he picked up a country that bankrupt. And with COVID. And kept St. Lucia afloat. And did things that made the first world countries marvel. That they asked him, what is he doing? But yet still, your people in the Caribbean, your people in St. Lucia want to put me a Motley in this man's shoes. You guys got to be, are you guys real? Tim, do you know that the Honorable Mia Motley always in the great man's back pocket, Sir Alan Michael Shasta? Do you know that? She was always in his back pocket. Do you know that, sir? Do you know that, sir? I'm asking you, Tim.
What do you mean by in his back pocket?
He was giving her advice.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling, she was going to him for advice, telling him what to do.
I'm sure that he would have. I'm sure that he would have gone to her for advice as well.
Advice for what? Who? The great man?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see Brian Lara go to Kahuba for advice? You ever see Phil Richards go to someone like Jeffrey Dushon? Not Jeffrey Dushon. Let me go a little lower. Somebody like Chris Gale for advice. Those guys are class players. A class player.
No, but caller, since you're talking about cricket, Brian Lara's the captain of the West Indies cricket team, yes, would have gone to Chris Gale for advice in terms of field placing, would have gone to to Carl Hooper for advice as well. Because he would have gone to them because they might have a different perspective that might be effective in getting a player out. So, I mean, I disagree with you on that one.
I don't say this to you, man.
You never see those players. You never see those players huddling. They meet. They meet together. They discuss and so on. They say, "Well, how are we going to get this guy out?" And Hooper might say something.
But certain players, the person might liable to listen to the wicketkeeper. The wicketkeeper is the person might liable to listen to the wicketkeeper because the wicketkeeper sees what the batsman is doing right up front from what he's doing wrong. You understand? When I get back to the game, I am saying to you, sir, that none of those guys in the communist SFP moguls. By the way, Tim, do you know Donald Trump is on his way? Do you know Donald Trump is on his way? He touched up Venezuela now. Who's next? Who's next, Tim? Do you know? Donald Trump said he tell the moguls guy, I'm coming for y'all. And they think it's a joke. And those guys, the communists, Philip JP and his bogus gang get down and fool with people. But when the message hit home, Tim, let me tell you something, Tim. Let me tell you something. You know the only man that can save the Caribbean right now? I call him Mr. St. Lucia, Mr. Caribbean, Sir Alan Michael Shasta. There's no one in the Caribbean that can save the Caribbean from Donald Trump now. The only man that can save the Caribbean now is Sir Alan Michael Shasta. No Mia Motley, no James Mitchell, none of those guys cannot do it. Because they doesn't have the class of the man. They doesn't have what it takes. The man just a born, respectable leader. Pierre cannot do it. Hilaire cannot do it. He gonna bundle whatever you do. St. Lucia right now is in the hands of the great man, Sir Alan Michael Shasta. The Caribbean is in the hands of Sir Alan Michael Shasta. Okay? You could take that and cash that in any bank that you like. None of them can talk to Donald Trump. None of them. You don't want to hear them. He has no respect for them. But you know who to respect? The man from St. Lucia, the great man himself, Sir Alan Michael Shasta. Take that and cash that in the bank and have you have a nice day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Bermuda. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Good afternoon to you, Amanda. What's happening in the chat room? What are they saying about Mr. Bermuda there?
A whole heap of laughing emojis. Tim, please save us.
Somebody said,
along those lines.
get this guy off your show. That's what they said about Mr. Bermuda. They also said about him, Tim, you're giving Bermuda too much of NewsSpin time. From Monday, only 2 seconds for Mr. Bermuda. And I know that he's listening. Go ahead, ma'am.
Tim, a few comments from earlier. A NewsSpinner says, there were excellent debate last night. The leaders brought their A game and they were professional and collegial. They took jabs at each other, but nothing derogatory or insulting. A commentator reads, I would love to see a debate on an action plan toward combating crime here in St. Lucia. A NewsSpinner says, Team, our populace is not mature enough for these kinds of debates. You are dealing with a population of high illiteracy. A commentator reads, citizens must change their acidic mindset, and culture. The rich man commits crimes and so does the poor man. This is business for funeral parlors, for lawyers, judges, police officers, acidic culture and mindsets. Someone says that the Bar Association demanding anything right now is like waiting for water from the sun. NewsSpin, get Rick straight, please. A commentator reads, a man can have all the sweet chats and eloquently speaking, but when it comes to doing the work, he can't do shit. A commentary says, I partially disagree. Our populace is now very educated versus years past. The immaturity part I can agree with. A debate should be welcomed either way. A commentary reads, the current government ministers only go on talk shows that support them, so they will not participate in such a debates. A commentary reads, whatever is being said now, especially from our Prime Minister, why he couldn't say so or make that same statement during the last administration. Tim, please play the clip where he made a reference to crimes, homicides just before the last elections. Someone said there, what we actually needed was an augmentation of the K9 unit, not the disbandment of it. A commentator says, it was good to see the Prime Minister and opposition leader of Jamaica in a debate. We need this here in St. Lucia. Another commentator says, Team, all the leaders refuse to accept the truth about crime, or they just do not have answers. A NewsSpinner says it's about time all Caribbean countries introduce debates as a key aspect of general elections. A NewsSpinner says there, while a debate does not decide who a good leader is, it sure is welcoming to see those vying for elected office engaging each other in this manner. A commentator says, in the Caribbean, our music is vile, our culture and mindsets is toxic and acidic. Crooked individuals in power, our people need more emotional intelligence to navigate certain situations. And a few comments here from YouTube. A NewsSpinner says here, government has their parts to play. They were elected to govern the country, and they do not want to take responsibilities as elected individuals. Blaming the country excuses the blame game. Commentary reads, if you cannot make a difference or you do not think you have the capability, then you're in the wrong profession. And the commentary from YouTube reads, the second set of people I want to hear speak are the deputy leaders. I want to know how they intend to be the second in command. Can they stand up to their boss if he or she is misleading the country? Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. WhatsApp message, somebody says, Mr. Bermuda is so entertaining. For some, he's irritating. But for some, he's entertaining. Another WhatsApp message, think the independent candidate debate, Golden Dragon versus Backs. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. I don't believe that our people are illiterate. They are just accustomed with the same thing over and over. Our people are well educated. Another WhatsApp message. Ask Mr. Norbert to do something about this. Create a breeding ground for rats. A photograph sent there. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. In the meantime, let's see if we have a call on the landline. Somebody says, Tim, we need to get real in this country. We have cows on our highway. Imagine a flight had to circle 4 times. It could not land at the Uranora International Airport as the pilot announced that there was a dog on the runway. We have a call. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you on the air.
Hi, Tim, and good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you. What about you?
I'm okay.
All right, Tim. I would love to hear a debate between the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. And I think maybe like the Golden Dragon, challenge the Prime Minister. Maybe Mr. Alan Chastney should challenge him to have a debate. But I would really, really love to hear a debate between those two. I think that should be very interesting. So we now have a passport for 10 years.
Finally.
Mm-hmm. So we St. Lucians, if we want something, we need to agitate for it. And St. Lucians, it's time that they learn if they need something, they need to speak out.
Especially close to a general election, ma'am.
Oh, yes, team.
Mm-hmm.
That's very convenient.
Yes.
Very convenient. But regardless to whatever the reason, we welcome it. Okay, so that's money in our pockets, because then we would not need to go to the U.S. every 5 years to renew our visas, nor to Canada. I would like the Minister of, or the Ministry of Infrastructure, rather, to paint the speed bumps. Especially the one in Bexon near the Catholic Church. Team, it's almost like it's the same color as the road. You can barely see that there's a speed bump, especially at night. So they need to paint the speed bump so people is visual, so people can see way ahead that there's a speed bump. Okay, so Ministry of Infrastructure, please take note. Team, before COVID, on Fridays, were the banks open until 5?
No.
No. That was
it's a few years now that the banks have not been opening until 5 on a Friday. Remember, there was a period when the banks would be opened until 5 o'clock on a Friday. Right. But I think it is maybe at least 4 or 5 years now, or even more, that the banks have been closing consistently at 2.
Continue that?
Mm-hmm. Beg your pardon?
Any reasons why they would have discontinued that service?
I think they would have said it's because people can conduct transactions online. And, you have online and the banking via the ATM and so on.
A lot of people are still complaining, because sometimes after work, everybody is not online. And I think the bank needs to appreciate that everybody is not...
You think the bank will listen to you?
Those
banks don't listen to their customers,
Yeah, so a lot of people are complaining, especially for the 5 o'clock service that they had on Fridays.
Mm-hmm. It came in very handy for construction workers and contractors and so on, construction workers in particular.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is something that they need to revisit, and maybe not every Friday, but maybe twice a month, like close to the end of month, and maybe the other, like the fortnight. So I think it's something that they need to revisit, because a lot of people are complaining about the hours.
The next time he's available, maybe somebody can pose that question or that suggestion, make that suggestion to the governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank.
Yes, definitely. Team, now the briefcase. I think Mrs. Poyer deliberately, I don't think she misunderstood what we were asking, but I think the answer was very deliberate. We never said that the person should not conduct business. I think everybody has a right to go into business. The question was, why was she able to obtain passports from the passport office, whereas we citizens had to wait months before we can get our passport? And it was not just 1 or 2 passports. I think hundreds of passports she was able to obtain on citizens' behalf. So the question was, who was facilitating her to obtain those passports? She never answered that question. So nobody was questioning why, whether or not she was able to I mean, anybody can do that. But the question was she being facilitated by somebody in there to, obtain all of those passports, and where we, the citizens, were unable to do so? Okay, team?
All right, ma'am.
Anyway, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. But the lady now has done a wise thing, you know. She's not advertising on NewsSpin, so don't expect me to say anything about the briefcase. I'll just say, 4522979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. 716-2026. Let's see what's happening in the chat room in terms of some of your comments. Somebody says that honestly, we are all asking for debate. What if there is a debate? Would it change anyone's performance in the field? No. Let's see there if we have another WhatsApp message to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. There is no doubt that we as St. Lucians must have a greater self-worth. If we did, we would not accept the low and lowering of standards within our society. Our leaders, political, church, academic, public service, business, NGOs, and others are too compromised and agree to compromising overtures. We really need to reach for higher standards while setting and maintaining better structures that weed out the bad actors at all levels. May we have the courage and tenacity to pursue this. Come on, St. Lucians, reach higher. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, you too bad, LOL. Another one, Tim, you the best, LOL on that briefcase topic, LOL. Another one says there via WhatsApp, thank you to M&C for a great sale. The prices were excellent. I understand it's every last Friday and Saturday month end. I'm looking forward. I suspect it's an employee of M&C, you know, who sent this. But anyway, that was a voice note. 4522979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody says, she is right, just passing on the speed bump now. And let's see if we have some more of your comments to go through. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. This is where all of the voter fraud is taking place, where persons are being registered to vote beyond the cutoff date of July the 15th, and where persons are being allowed to change their address to vote in new electoral districts beyond the cutoff date of May 15th. The Electoral Department must also be more vigilant in verifying and accepting documents presented as proof of address or change of address. By the time the election monitoring team arrives on island, the damage has already been done within the very Electoral Department. Elections are won and lost within the Electoral Department. And somebody called the broadcast this week and had some concerns regarding the registration of one of their offsprings. And let's listen to that individual who made that call on Tuesday of this week.
In fact, I have my son who just came in from Canada not too long ago. And he went at the office to clarify his, to make sure his ID card is okay. When they gave him the card, you know what they told him, what he saw?
Mm-hmm.
Now, before I go into what he saw, he is from the Dennery Valley. Precisely Gadet in the Dennery area.
Mm-hmm.
His birth certificate, everything is put in today. And when they gave him the ID, where they told him that where he saw that he's voting?
Mm-hmm.
In Cicero.
Castries South.
Yes. Now, I am saying this because I have heard many people said that same thing which I am saying there now. And look, my son just came in not too long ago, but he went back already. And he did the same thing which I've heard many times already. And he told me and showed me exactly what is happening.
A caller to NewsSpin on a Tuesday of this week. So we go on to our NewsSpin question of the day because it pertains to this concern. Why not a word from the Electoral Department amid allegations of voter irregularities? Why not a word from the Electoral Department amid allegations of voter registration irregularities? Because those are serious allegations that are being made by persons in the St. Lucian society. And I think one or two people have called from the diaspora as well to complain. Not now, not yesterday, over the last few months. And the Electoral Department has not addressed that particular issue. I've been trying to contact officials of the Electoral Department without any kind of success to address this. But this needs to be addressed by officials at the Electoral Department, in particular, the island's Chief Elections Officer. We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Timothy Poleon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Who are call, right? Pennsylvania?
Marco.
Oui, who are call? Book te dia bayan about, vous savez?
Ouais, c'est ça, moi, about Pukuyo Pudu.
Ok, not Pudu.
Real numbers are Aloysius.
Ok.
Mais en boucle blanc, tu trouvé Aloysius trop long. So, il moi à Lisco.
Ok. Qui laisse boucle blanc?
C'est en boucle blanc.
Qui laisse boucle blanc? Il était fameux?
Américain. Non.
So, boucle là, j'ai cherché non encore?
Oui, moi, je vais Hurricane Hall. Quand je vais Hurricane Hall, Maïgo?
Oui.
Moi, je suis un bartender là. C'est boucle blanc venu comme tout le monde. Là, moi, dis non, moi. Il dit, moi, no, that's too long. I'll just call you Alisco.
So, non, Aloysius, t'es tout belle pour?
Il était trop long.
Ah, il parle de garçon.
Non, c'est... So, où tu veux? Oui, Zoan dit, non, moi, c'est Alisco là. C'est, beaucoup ça a obligé ces gens, ça gozile, parce que moi, c'est un bartender comme un hôtel là.
Ok.
Et, bon, Alisco là, en German, c'est everything is okay. Ok?
Ok.
Bon, quand j'ai dit animal split, pig split, dog split, ça, bah, ça, il y a un petit manière longue, mais aller trois fois dedans. Mais animal split, pig split, dog split, c'est un bouc mal maman, Saint-Lucie. Il dit moi, il vient, moi, de transporter, il commence à dire moi, animal split, pig split, dog split. Parce qu'il était voulu bon jouer pig. So, moi jouer pig.
Oui.
So, moi, pas comme un monde black ça, Saint-Lucie. So, je sais pas, mais ça, c'est pour ça, moi, c'est mon connaître. Mais ma ça, je ne vois. Ok, so c'est là, animal split, pig split, dog split sorti.
So, il y a des human beings can play too?
C'est ça, il dit moi, animal split, pig split, dog split, but men don't want to play. mais, ma c'est mes joueurs avec nom.
Ok.
Ok? En toi, comme c'est ici, moi, je joue avec nom. Je fais ça.
Ok.
So, moi, juste pour faire beaucoup ça, rôle bas là, bas côté, non, mon sorti, comment il y a écrit moi, Alisco. C'est pas Alisco là, c'est Alisco, c'est ce nom, moi.
Ok. Ok, Alisco. Merci beaucoup.
Right.
Okay. That's a caller there from Pennsylvania. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And let's see if we can get another call. Hello, good afternoon. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Amanda.
Good afternoon, caller.
Tim, I was told 2 nights ago that the Electoral Commission, it has 3 people on it. 2 of them are SLP supporters.
No, okay, let's put it this way, ma'am.
I know one of the persons.
No. Hello, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. On the Electoral Commission, you have representatives of the respective political parties, the UWP and also the SLP. They have representatives on the commission.
Yeah, but I was told them are SLP supporters. I know one of the lady, a lawyer.
Yes, but
her father run years ago as the candidate for Choiseul. Okay.
Let me just explain to you. Let me explain to you.
They're my friends.
Let me explain to you. The commission makes provision for members of the SLP to be on to serve on the body. I think it's 3 members, if memory serves me right. And you have 2 people from the UWP who are representing the opposition.
I heard one.
It's
I
one.
don't know.
Okay.
That's why I said, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the SLP as 2 and the UWP as 1. So I said, let me ask you if that's really true, because I'm looking that would be unfair.
Yeah, I'm sure before we conclude the broadcast, somebody will clarify this. But maybe it's a case where the governing side always has more. The governing party always has more members as far as the regulations go.
Yeah. They are called to me, okay? The names of the people who are called to me, and I'm sure I know one. Okay? I know the lady, a lawyer. I used to go in her office, we used to talk and whatever, and I know the father very, okay? All right, so I would need answer on that to clarify. Tim, so if you can help me.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I'm relying on the people out there who are in the know, who have the information at their disposal right now. I could think of a couple of people who can provide me with that information. So I hope that you'll be able to clarify this particular issue for us regarding the composition of the Electoral Commission. But I think the governing party normally has more members compared to the opposition party on serving on the Electoral Commission. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Turn our attention now to Amanda.
Tim, a few comments from earlier. NewsSpin says here, a dog on the runway. This is not a laughing matter. We can be downgraded for this. A commentary reads, Tim, set up the debate and invite the 2 leaders. And NewsSpinner says, wow, I will renew my passport. I welcome the 10 years, but I am sorry the choice is not clear for me, PJP. Commentary reads, imagine that and you telling me our people are educated. A simple thing like painting a speed bump with the recommended paint, shake my head. Someone says here an alternative is for the banks to have half-day services on Saturdays. Commentary reads, let me just try and access that. A debate between Bax and the Golden Dragon would end up in a draw. A NewsSpinner says the Prime Minister and leader of the opposition should have a debate. Why do people think St. Lucians will not welcome debates? Time to get serious in this country. That's it for now.
All right. Thank you so much. 452-2979. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages. 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. The Education Minister, Mr. Sean Edward, during that same program on Meet the Minister, has also been speaking about the opening of the island schools that is taking place on Monday of next week. Just a brief comment he made.
I will be addressing the nation. It's something that I do every year on the eve of the reopening of school. Just to say to the parents that I know you have worked hard to provide for the educational needs of your children. Continue to invest in your children. This is the best investment you can make. And I believe that if you stick with them, you work very closely with the principals and the teachers, the children will make you proud in the future. We've done our best as a Ministry of Education to conduct repairs at schools. We obviously could not do everything that needed to be done, but we have ensured that at least the minimum standards are met, and I want to encourage teachers to go in there with your usual enthusiasm and commitment and do it for the children of the nation. I will be addressing the nation. It's something that I do every year on the eve of the reopening of school. Just to say to the parents that I know you have worked hard to provide for the educational needs of your children. Continue to invest in your children. This is the best investment you can make. And I believe that if you stick with them, you work very closely with the principals and the teachers, the children will make you proud in the future. We've done our best as a Ministry of Education to conduct repairs at schools. We obviously could not do everything that needed to be done, but we have ensured that at least the minimum standards are met, and I want to encourage teachers to go in there with your usual enthusiasm and commitment and do it for the children of the nation.
Just so there from Education Minister, Mr. Sean Edward, and as he stated earlier on, that definitely he will be addressing the nation on Sunday evening, just prior to the opening of the island schools, and that is on Monday. Somebody says that the commissioners for the Electoral Commission are Zilta George, Michael Flood, and Maureen John, who is the chairperson. So the commissioners for the Electoral Commission are Zilta George, Michael Flood, and Maureen John, who is the chairperson. So maybe one representing the UWP, one representing the SLP, and then you have the chairperson. But we'll clarify this during a subsequent NewsSpin broadcast. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. And let me see if I have any of your WhatsApp messages to go through. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, wow, good to hear Alico or Alisco, bus driver from the north. All the time I was thinking he passed away. The brother is over in Pennsylvania in the United States. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. And somebody says the passports are supposed to be done only by a government entity. I think I'll go into this business as well. All right, let's see if we have some more of your messages as we're getting all set to conclude our broadcast this afternoon. Let's turn our attention now to our NewsSpin News of the Day. The NewsSpin News of the Day reads, brawl erupts in Mexico's Senate after debate over U.S. military intervention to fight drug cartels. Brawl erupts in Mexico's Senate after debate over U.S. military intervention to fight drug cartels. And take a look what really transpired in terms of that brawl during a sitting of the Senate in Mexico.
15 horas con...
A recent brawl during a sitting of the Senate over in Mexico. Brawl erupts in Mexico's Senate after debate over U.S. military intervention to fight drug cartels. Well, what do you think would happen in the case of St. Lucia if you had such a brawl where parliamentarians are allowed to go into the parliamentary sitting of the House of Assembly with their firearm? Which takes us, of course, to Mr. Hermangild Francis, former Deputy Police Commissioner and former National Security Minister. He called last week and he suggested that going forward, a decision should be taken so that that prohibits MPs from being armed during sittings of the House.
Please, Mr. Speaker, put things in place that politicians and parliamentarians would deposit their firearms somewhere in the parliament in a safe place and before they enter the hallowed chambers.
You just heard there from Mr. Hermangild Francis, a former National Security Minister, former Deputy Police Commissioner as well. My name is Timothy Poleon. Hope you have yourself a safe and enjoyable weekend. We'll be back, God willing, on Monday afternoon at 12:30 with another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.